Hello, my name is Glenn Stutzky. I'm a faculty member of the School of Social Work at Michigan State University and the instructor for the class Surviving the Coming Zombie Apocalypse.
Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Pete. You surprised me. I didn't see you walk up there. One of the focuses of the class is going to be on human behavior during catastrophic times.
You're working late?
Yeah, I'm working on this short video for a new class I'm going to be teaching. How do people act at the beginning of a catastrophe? I'm calling it Surviving the Coming Zombie Apocalypse. Does their behavior change in the midst of trying to survive with the decisions that they must make? I'm using the zombie thing to hopefully make the class a little more interesting.
Did you say zombies?
In times of catastrophes, some people find their humanity, others lose theirs.
Zombies? They make everything more interesting. It's like that on every station.
Pete? Pete, is that you?
Please, if anyone's out there and you can hear me, please, God send help, please.
What you just saw was the very first movie trail style promotion of a college course. My favorite line in that clip here is by Pete the custodian. Zombies, they make everything more interesting. And that really sums up my idea worth sharing. Be interesting. I want to share with you three things I've learned about ideas worth sharing. Three things that ideas worth sharing don't come without. Ideas worth sharing don't come without sacrifice. I've learned that an idea worth sharing isn't something you choose, it chooses you. And in some ways, it even goes beyond that. It's almost like getting impregnated with an idea. It takes over your life. It takes over your time. It takes over your effort. It takes over your energy. And you begin to live and breathe and dream. And you can't forget that this thing is inside you and it's growing. Ideas worth sharing don't come without controversy. I've learned that when we first put this video up on YouTube and 100 people watched it, I thought, this is amazing. And then it grew more and more and more, but I started to worry because everybody liked it. And I thought, oh, what's going on? Controversy is a confirmation or a sign that you, in fact, might have an idea worth sharing. So we finally began to get some dislikes, and I thought, that's good. And then something happened I didn't expect. I got this lengthy worded letter that was addressed to me and copied to the president of my university, demanding that this course be stopped immediately and never be allowed to see the light of day. But controversy is part of having an idea worth sharing. And an idea worth sharing doesn't come without being interesting. And that's really my idea worth sharing is that. Be interesting. I first got onto that when I saw a survey of students from K through 12 about what was students' biggest complaints about school. Well, I work in the area of bullying and harassment, and I know how large the scope and impact and trauma of that is. I have no question that the biggest complaint would be being bullied or harassed, but it wasn't. Then I thought, well, it's got to be the food, the food when you're going in school. I think some of us may still be suffering from some of those dishes that we might not even have known what it really was. But it wasn't. What the biggest complaint that students had was boring teachers. And that completely flabbergasted me. Isn't it enough that the material we have is important or that it's required to be learned? Apparently not. But what value does interesting have? I mean, why interesting? Why might that be important? Well, when you think about it in terms of, let me say it this way. Interesting is the great focuser. It captures people's attention. It makes people curious and inquisitive. What is that? That's interesting. I wonder how that works. And it gets their attention. When we set out to have this course, an elective course in the summer, now elective means, for anyone who might not know, you don't have to take it. Nobody has to take it. So we have a class in the summertime that nobody has to take. How do you actually get students' attention? How do you get them to focus on what you have, what product you have, long enough to actually decide whether or not they want to take it? Be interesting. And that's when we got the idea, let's actually do a movie trailer style video. Let's also use other social media. So we put together a social media marketing campaign, put up a Facebook, YouTube channel, Twitter, see if we can get out into the media. But this also applies to businesses as well. You have a product. Education has a product. Our product is classes and courses that we put together, but businesses have products too. Cars, toasters. I want to tell you about a time, in my whole life, I've maybe bought, 2 toasters or something. I mean, toasters just really aren't that interesting. Last Christmas, I bought 4 toasters. I didn't buy them from Black & Decker or Westinghouse or General Electric, but I bought Jesus toasters. Have you seen these things? It burns on the image of the Lord out of the toast. And I thought, this is interesting. And so I bought 3 toasters because they had a special deal over Christmas. You buy 3 Jesus toasters and they throw in a Virgin Mary one. It was great, so I was giving out toasters. That's another thing about being interesting. You don't have to have a completely new thing that's never been done before. Oh, what's that? That's the horseless carriage. You can take something that is common, like a toaster, and add a little twist. That will do it. It's like having a recipe of something that you always have, and you put in that little ingredient. That can make it interesting. Then you can capture the attention of your students, of your consumers, of your customers, so that then they will actually look at the product you have and make a decision whether they want to purchase it or be interactive with it. But now I want to tell you, interesting isn't always something that you want to hear. And I'll give you an example of this. I was in a doctor's office a few years back, let's say to have a very invasive examination, all right? I won't go into any more details, but as I'm there and as the technician is sitting in front of a monitor and the doctor's doing the examining part, the technician says, "Oh, doctor, come over here, please." The doctor walks over, looks at the monitor and says, "Oh, that's interesting." So there's a time when you don't want to hear, you definitely don't want to hear that phrase. But interest really has value on many different levels. So we mounted this social media marketing campaign. It broke into the national media through Yahoo News, I think it was. The number of hits on the video began to expand. We did a couple other versions of it. It's around, between the 3 versions we have, 50 or 55,000 now. Then it got picked up on Time Magazine, USA Today. Another group of people took what we did and kind of redid and commented on it. That one, I guess they did a much better job because they've had over 250,000 hits. And eventually, I was texted a message from one of my students that said, hey, Conan O'Brien has tweeted about this course. It hasn't even happened. And he said, Michigan State is doing this course on zombies, but I think it's a trap because the prerequisite is English and brains. Then I heard that there was a sportscaster who likes to rip on people with different things, and he, I didn't actually hear this, but he was making fun. Sometimes that's just part of it too, is making fun. I want to share with you, as I begin to close, 3 things that being interesting brings. It brings you others, other people to share with. An idea worth sharing is an idea that should be shared with others. While the idea may have been put inside you and while it may possess you, it is not your possession. What we're doing with this class is only possible by sharing the ideas with others and allowing them to come in and be a part of that creative and interesting process. Being an idea we're sharing also brings you opportunities. I have scientists who want to lecture in the class. We're doing things with the CDC. They're very interested in preparedness around catastrophes. And then I got an unusual phone call, the one I think is the most interesting to me, from an opera singer who is a soprano. Now, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about zombies. But she contacted me and she says, I am writing with my partner on the first opera about zombies, and we'd like you to be a consultant on it. Opportunities. Now, I don't know. A year from now, you may get an invitation, to come and see a zombie opera, but it's just interesting. And then the third thing that be an idea worth sharing brings, and I don't know, it might sound a little cliche, but it brings joy. When that idea is finally birthed, when that child comes out after all that labor and gestation, and it comes out and you look at it and you clean it up a little bit, and you look at it and you say, wow, this baby's got green eyes. I wasn't expecting that, but that's curious. That's interesting. And with that, I guess what I would like to say is, be smart. But above all, be interesting. Thank you.